Hello everybody, I'm Tushar. I'm an AI scientist, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to make an AI trip planner using framework named LangGraph. In this video you are not just gonna learn the how to build the project, but you will come to understand how to understand the code itself. I'll be using a very good Python debugging technique using the VS Code debugger, so I believe that you will really enjoy it. So please pay attention and stay till the end. Alright, so let me set the agenda of this particular video. First of all, we will set the project into our local computer so that you can run it easily. Then we will move to a whiteboard explanation, and after that we will do a deep dive into the code of our particular project. So to set things up in your local, first of all you need to clone the repo. The repo link I'll give into the descriptions below. You just need to copy this particular SSH or HTTP URL, go to the location where you want to clone our repo for this project, git clone URL. Alright, so it is cloning now. Now enter into it and open the VS Code. Alright, now we have successfully cloned our project. First of all, now we have to make one virtual environment with all the necessary dependencies. We are going to use UV as a package manager because it is super fast. And how to make the virtual environment and install all the dependencies. So you will be getting this project.toml file while cloning the repo from the link given into the descriptions below. You just have to first of all install the UV in your system. How to install UV? You can check over the Google, just the first link, go in and you can install the UV by following very simple steps. After installing UV, you come into this particular directory and type the command UV sync, and your virtual environment is ready with all the dependencies just like this. Now let's activate this virtual environment. This is the virtual environment file .venv source.ve env bin activate. Now our virtual environment is active. Now you have to set some API keys for the, like, we are making one AI trip planner agent. For that our agent need to do some web searches as well to know about the destination, to know about the kind of weather it is there and on those particular dates. So we cannot depend over the internal knowledge of LLM. We need to do some web searches as well. So to perform the web searches, we're going to use some external service named Twelly, which is hosted somewhere else. And to use the Twelly search service, we need to have API key for that particular service. So to have that API key, you just need to visit Twelly API key, go to this link, and you have to sign up the way you sign up to the Facebook. And here I have already created my API key. If you want to create one for you, you just need to press this button, type the name of your API key and press create. It will create API key for you. For this particular project, we do not need to pay anything to the Twelly. If you gonna make some big project in which you're gonna do some 1,000 searches per minute, on those cases you have to pay something to the Twelly, and you can just copy your API key, come into your project, make a .env file, and here the name of your here just paste your API key, and it should be pasted with a variable name given in this particular file. This must be the variable name. Copy it, paste it up, and save it. Now we are good to run our project. Now to run our project, this is the app file, app.py, this Streamlit application file. To run it up, there's a command Streamlit run app.py. Alright, so our application is running now. Let's wait. Alright, so now it has run successfully. Here you need to enter the destination where you want to visit, amount of budget you are having for that particular trip, interest you have to mention, what kind of interest you are carrying with you, whether it is history, adventure, shopping, anything else. Here you need to mention the range of date for that period for which you want to visit this particular destination. Press the generate itinerary button and our trip planner agent is running. Let's wait for it to finish things. So you can see our agent has given one response. Here's a list of itinerary, what we need to do over there, and it has given us the weather forecast as well. The responses are not so great because we are using some free LLMs over here, obviously, and those LLMs are from the Hugging Face website, and the responses are not so great. I agree with you, and but the thing is, the aim of this particular video is to show you how to make such an agent. You can improve the responses later on by plugging in some good LLMs, let's say some from OpenAI, let's say from Anthropic, some, let's say Google Gemini. You can use you have lot of options to go for the LLMs. But the aim of this video is to show you how to make a trip planner agent, AI agent using LangGraph. And now you have seen the demo. Alright, it has given us the response, and it is doing web searches to find the weather, and it is doing the web searches what are the things the people can do over there, and then that response it is giving to the LLMs, and then LLM is doing something and generating the response which you're gonna see while we deep dive into code. And this is the demo. And next part is to see the whiteboard explanation of the project, so let's move in that part. Alright, so let's try to understand the complete workflow of our application through block diagrams. So this is a normal simple block diagram in which this is our AI trip planner which we gonna build in this video, and it will be expecting some user preferences. First of all, user preferences can be anything. It is about the place you want to visit and what do you interest the most in that place. What do you want to see in that place? Let's say I want to visit Delhi and my interests are food and culture. I'll just give it to my air trip planner, and my air trip planner will give me a planned trip as you have already seen in the demo of the whole project. So how this air trip planner is made? This is made in several steps. So let's try to understand the step one. In the step one, what we will do, like we will take the user preferences and we will give it to a query converter block. This query converter is a simple Python function, and what is the job of this query converter is it will convert this user preference into search query which can be given to our web search agent. For example, in this for example, you can see here, like our user preferences are, let's say the place the user wants to visit is the Delhi, and the interest of the user is, let's say, food and culture. Our query converter will convert this particular user preference into this particular search query, which can be given to the web search agent later on. And the query can be, let's say, give me a list of restaurant in the Delhi famous for representing country's culture, right? So this query is containing the user interest, and this query is simple something which you give to Google search, let's say, and this query we will give to our web search agent. Now this particular query, the search query in the step 2, will be given to a web search agent. For the web search, we are taking help of a third party application which is named as Twelly. we are calling this particular search agent using the API key provided by the Twelly, as I have shown you in the demo, like how to set it up. We will give the search query, and web search agent is something we are not gonna code in this particular video, but we will give the search query to the Twelly, and the Twelly will do the job on the backend. It will fetch up the search result for this particular query. Alright, and those search results will be given to a prompt generator. The prompt generator is again a Python function. We are giving it a search results which are written by this web search agent, and later on these search results are converted into effective prompts. Effective prompts, now these effective prompts in the next step will be given to the LLM, which we will host locally in our laptop. We will take it from the Hugging Face and we'll host it locally into our laptop. We'll take the effective prompt and we'll ask the LLM. Actually, this effective prompt will be containing all the search results. Let's say this web search agent give us n number of search results, and those search results will be crafted into a particular good prompt, which will be later on given to the LLM. Now this LLM will give us the itinerary, which will be shown on the UI. So this is the complete process. Let me repeat again. First of all, we'll take the user preferences. We'll give it to the query converter. The query converter will give us the search queries. The search queries are given to the web search agent hosted by the Twelly, and we'll call it by the using the Twelly API. It will give us the search results, and these search results are again converted into effective prompt, which can be given to the LLM, and this LLM will give us the complete itinerary list, which will be displayed over to the UI. Alright, so now it's time to deep dive into the code itself. So let's move there. So let's try to understand the whole code base now. So I hope till now you have cloned the repo the way I have shown you in the starting of the video from the GitHub URL, which I have given into the descriptions below. After cloning the repo, you'll find a small file which is run.py, this one which you are seeing right here, and this is actually a small file. Using this particular file, we can invoke the whole code pipeline. We can invoke the whole pipeline of the project. Actually, you will see in a minute. So to run this up, first of all, I need to activate the virtual environment, which I've shown you in the starting itself. Source, let me activate it again. Bin activate. Alright, so it is activated now. So yes guys, so this run.py is importing this app object from the workflow. Workflow.py is actually containing an app object. App object is actually a object of workflow class, and workflow class is actually a LangGraph workflow. You see, this state graph is actually a LangGraph object, and using this particular thing we are defining the workflow. This workflow is actually a LangGraph workflow. Till this point it is an empty workflow. Over here you see, so LangGraph, how LangGraph works guys. So in LangGraph we have certain nodes and we have certain connection between them, which tells us how the workflow works, the whole workflow basically. So here we are adding the nodes into that graph, our graph. So these are actually the nodes. Gather preference, these are actually the functions. You see, gather preference is a function which is defined here. What these functions do, we'll come on that later, but first let's try to understand the workflow. So here we are defining the nodes into our graph. Fetch destination info is actually another function, and this is also a function. Generate itinerary, here you see generate itinerary here. This is again another function, and check whether is also another function. These are actually the nodes in our graph, and here we are defining the connections between those nodes. You see, we are adding the edge in the workflow, in the LangGraph workflow, and the edge is between the gather preference and fetch info. these two nodes. Between these two nodes we are defining, okay, there is an edge. So now information can travel between these two nodes, get the preference and fetch info. Again we are adding an edge between fetch info and generate itinerary. So it is a like three nodes generate like connected with edge. First is gather preference, next is fetch info, there is an edge between them, and then there is another node which is generate itinerary and fetch info, there is an edge between them. So there is edge, these three nodes are connected with edges actually. This is what has been defined in these two lines. And again there is an edge between generate itinerary and check weather. So we have defined these four nodes into our graph, and here we have defined edges between them. All right, and here we are setting the entry point into that workflow. We are saying that the entry point is actually the gather preference node, and the end node of the graph is actually the check weather node. So like if you want to have an intuition of it, what we are doing here is we have defined certain nodes, four nodes: gather preference, fetch destination info, generate itinerary and check weather. And these four nodes we have connected with edges. And here we have defined that if this is the workflow, what is the entry point in that workflow and what is the exit point in that workflow. All right. Now let's try to invoke it up. So to invoke it up, I'm gonna use the Python debugger, the inbuilt debugger of VS Code. Believe me guys, that debugger is actually a very efficient tool to understand any code base. So here I have, you'll see, you realize this in a minute. So here I have applied a breakpoint. Let's try to invoke this up using this particular button which says that run and debug. All right, so let's press it up, run and debug. So it will debug the current Python file, this one. Okay, so we have pressed the debugger. So what will happen, that code will run and it will stop at this particular point. You see guys, that I have applied a breakpoint over here. Actually this is a very efficient way I use daily, almost daily, to understand any code base while working in industry as well. So if you want to understand any code base, use Python debugger, this inbuilt debugger of VS Code. This is very efficient tool. Let's say I show you the power of debugger. Let's say you want to check what preference variable is having. So you go to this debug console, copy it up, paste it here, and this is the preference variable. So you can check which variables have been created, and you can check, okay, what those variables are actually having inside them. So this app.invoke, we are invoking the whole pipeline for this particular user preference. The example user preference is, let's say I want to go to Paris, my budget is $1,000, my interests are art and food, and this is the range of date for which I want to visit Paris. Using this particular example preference, I'm invoking the whole pipeline. So let's go inside it. If you want to go inside this particular function, you have to press this particular button. The debugger gives you that power. Step into, go into that. You see that into our workflow we have defined that the entry point is gather preference, and gather preference node is this function actually, and our workflow, like our flow of the code, has come here actually. You see, right? So now go one step ahead. So this is just a general function. Our preferences are coming up, and this dictionary is getting returned by this particular function. Now if you want to move one step ahead, you press this particular button. Now we have come here. Why? Because we have an edge between gather preference and fetch info, and fetch info is actually this particular node, fetch destination info. That's why we are going in this particular function. So here what we are doing is we are taking the destination and interest into these variables. Let's move one step ahead. If you want to see that destination is actually the Paris, and user interests are actually art and food, right? And this it has taken from the user preferences. Now the first thing is we have destination, we have interest. Now we will convert it into a search query using the query converter block, which I showed you while understanding the whole pipeline using the whiteboard diagram. We here this is the search query for this particular destination and interest. That all right. So this is the search query. If you want to see what is the search query, so this is the search query. The top attractions and activities in Paris for art and food. This search query we will pass to our search agent, which is Twelly, and we are saying we are asking the Twelly to return maximum 3 results, and we are passing our query to it. Now let's pass it up. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, now we have our results. These are such agent actually, and it has returned this info object. If you want to check what info is having, so info is actually a dictionary which is having certain information, but the information which we are interested in is in actually the result key. So that key we are taking from here, and okay, now we have to clean it up. If you want to check that info results, so this is something which our search agent has returned actually. It's a pretty messy information which we have to clean it up. The cleaning of this particular thing is happening in this particular code block. All right, let's move one step ahead. So all right, now we are cleaning it up. Let me try to add block this breakpoint over here, and let it run up to this particular point so that we can see what cleaned information we are getting. All right, so if you want to see the combined info, this is the combined info, guys, which what our search agent has returned us. It is saying that plus here is a quick list of my favorite bookable food experience and activities in Paris. So our search agent has basically picked these results from the internet using the Twelly agent. All right, and these are the search results basically, and this is basically returned from this particular node which is fetch destination info. Let it return, let it move one step ahead, and here we are taking the dates using this particular node, and this particular node comes after fetch destination info. There is an edge between them, right? And why the code is flowing this way is because there is like these are the nodes into the LangGraph workflow. They are defined to be that way. Let's move one step ahead. All right, number of days, and here this is the prompt converter, guys, prompt generator actually, which will like generate the whole prompt that you are we are asking the LLM that we are saying that you are a planner traveler trip planner AI, generate a detail for these many days which we have counted here using the date difference which the user is actually given, and we are basically this is the whole prompt which we are crafting and will be passing to the LLM. Let me add a breakpoint here. All right, so here we are passing the whole prompt to our LLM block. Let's get inside it. So here is the prompt. Here we are first formatting it up. using this particular function. We are applying certain kind of formatting before passing it to our LLM, and here we are actually passing it to LLM. Pipeline is actually a pipeline object, and pipeline is defined as a transformer class, transformer library, and here we are passing the model. Which model we are using? This is the model we are using as our LLM, and we are using it for the text generation. Maximum token we have set as 800, temperature 0.7, which tells us the creativity, top p, do sample, pad token in case if required. You can check what each and every parameter means. Here we are passing the whole prompt into our LLM pipeline. Now it will take some time because LLMs are slow, right? They are heavy models, and I'm just using them into my consumer grade hardware, so they are a little bit slow, but still I'm using GPU. All right, let's wait for a minute. All right, guys, so we have results from our LLM. We got output, and this is the output which LLM generated. So let's move one step ahead. So now we have this raw output from the LLM. If you want to check what it is, this is what it is. This is the raw output from our LLM. A pretty messy thing because we are using some small models, some lightweight models, and again we are converting our user preference into search queries to fetch the weather information from the internet, again from that valley, and we are asking it just a single result to find out what weather is there in the Paris into on these particular dates. We have passed, we got the results. Let me move one step ahead. All right, so we have our results, guys. So this is the final result object returned from this app.invoke, and basically it is having all the necessary information. It is having the itinerary. This is the itinerary which user should be for, like user can follow, and the weather information as well. It has weather information as well. All right, guys. So these are again some small functions to clean the itinerary, because you see this is a pretty messy thing, so we need to clean it up. So I've written some functions to clean this particular mess. Let me add a breakpoint here, some rule based cleaning. So cleaning is done, and let's move one step more, clean weather, and these are the clean things, guys. So this is, you see, now it is a well cleaned itinerary, but still there is some hope for cleaning, because still it is saying that you are a travel planner AI asked with creating this 3-day detailed itinerary for Paris with this particular budget. Still there is a scope for cleaning, still there is a scope for better outputs, but our aim here is not to generate better. Our aim here is to just understand the whole pipeline. We can generate better output by better LLMs, and those are not free, guys. We have to spend some amount from our pockets. So but the aim of this video is to make you understand how to use LangGraph for your projects, how to use LLMs from Hugging Face. All right, guys, how to use transformers library, right? How to use 12 web search agent, and that we have actually learned. by understanding this whole pipeline. And this is actually the weather. And this is the information which we will be showing on the UI. Now, how to show it on the UI? For that, I'm using Streamlit. Streamlit is actually a free front-end creation front-end creation framework for the Python, and for that I have written this another file app.py. Here you see this first of all we are setting the page config, we are setting the title. This is the title which will go over the front end web page, and here we are defining that we have to make form, inputs will go there, number will go there with the name of budget, and interest will go there, and these are the interests which user can select from. You can modify it according to your use case, guys. You have to select dates. This is actually the form which the user will see. Let me try to run it up and then you will better understand everything. So to run it up, okay, you have to do streamlit run app.py. You have to do this command from the same directory, this one, LangGraph trip planner. So all right, so it's running now. Then you will better understand everything. You see this AI trip planner, why it is coming like this? Because we have defined it like this. You see, this is the page title, and plan your trip with an AI powered itinerary generator. This is again getting displayed over here. So Streamlit is a very handy package for the Python library to make the front end for your application, for your POC, small POC. All right, but it is very efficient, guys. Again, like this is the form which user has to fill. We have defined each and everything into st.form. St actually belongs to Streamlit. St Streamlit. You see, this is the form which user has to fill. Destination, budget. You can fill any destination, guys. You can, let's say, Delhi. My budget is $1,000. My interests are, let's say, I do not want food, I want adventure. Just select it up, and these are the dates which you can modify according to your use case. Press generate itinerary, and now wait. Let's try to understand the whole code base till then. Like this is the form, guys, which user has to fill, and after pressing the button, after submit it is done, the submit button is actually the generate itinerary which I just pressed right now. A spinner will run, which is running right here. This is the spinner, guys, planning your trip, which is running right here. And then like preference object will be made, and again app will be invoked the same way it has been invoked here. All right, guys, so it has been invoked and we'll get the results. We'll clean those results, itinerary and the weather, the same way it has been done here. And now next step is to just display these results over to the UI, and that will be done here. Like itinerary will be shown in the markdown, weather will be shown in the markdown. You'll see when it finishes up. Let's okay, it has been finished already. So this is the itinerary, guys, which has been shown in the markdown after the whole pipeline has run, and this is the weather. So this is actually a small product, guys, a very small POC. Using this particular project you have learned how to work with the LangGraph, how to work with Streamlit application. Like you can modify this code according to your use case for your own project, which you want to demonstrate in your college or in your company, on your workplace. Use Streamlit because it is very easy to demonstrate your idea using this particular thing. And I hope you have learned something from this video. So now we are at the end. Let me close it up. Let me close it up. Let me All right, so yeah, now we are at the end, and I hope you have learned something. See you in the next one. Till then, bye bye. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you learned something new today, please press the like button because it will motivate me to make more such videos, and subscribe my channel and share it with your friends if in case they also need it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.